Welcome back to the Aliens and Angels podcast. So this is our weekly live Q&A community chat, and today I'm pleased to bring you another interesting topic for discussion, all about alien implants. In my presentation today, I'll cover the various kinds of alien implants and their purposes, whether they be etheric, energetic, holographic, genetic, biological, and synthetic. Alien implants can include AI, nanotechnology, bioengineering, and crystalline formations. They are produced by interdimensional beings, ETs, and even humans. Some are beneficial, but most are not, as they infringe on our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. Find out what you can do about them. Join our lively discussion and become part of the conversation. Please post your questions and comments during this live chat, and you're welcome to join our Facebook group called Aliens and Angels. All of the links are featured below in the description. Check me out, subscribe to my channels, leave me a comment, like my videos, and share my content with your friends. So before we get started with my presentation, I'm just going to take a look in the chat and say hi to everybody. Let's see who we got here. We've got Canadian Spinja. Hi. And we've got Allison Yellowknee. Hi, Allison. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh, and of course, we have Don Rogers at March 4th Productions. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you on the show today. So, hi, Allison. Nice to see you. There's extraterrestrial. Hello, nice to see you too. So today I'm going to do a presentation. I'm going to read two different articles, and I'm going to read them and present them on the screen so that those of you who are listening from an audio platform will also get most of the benefit. Of course, you won't be able to see the images, but you can always swing around later and watch the replay to be able to view all of the images that go along with the presentation today. And the other thing I want you to know is that both articles, no, sorry, I'm going to take that back. Both articles are featured in the description, but you can actually order the PDF of the second article that was done by myself and along with Chris Matthew from Forbidden Knowledge News. We did a show together, a limited series show called Forbidden Transformation. And in episode 6, we covered the topic. And I produced a PDF. And you can actually order that from my website if you'd like to have your own copy. So without further ado, since it's quite a lot of material, I think we'll get into the very first article here. So remember, when I have the article pulled up on screen share, I won't be able to see your comments. But after I read it, I'll swing back and review the comments that I missed. And please feel free to chat amongst yourselves. That would be totally awesome. So let me just make sure I have everything ready. And I think I do. So let's see if we can make this work. Still getting used to StreamYard. It's an awesome program, but it works a little different from Zoom, and Zoom is what I'm actually used to using. So the first article we're going to consider is from Unix News magazine, and it was written by Dr. Roger Leir. Now, he has since passed away, but he gave us this wonderful article called The Smoking Gun. And you can feel free to Google this, or I will see if I can have the link in the description below. And its pioneering alien implant researcher and surgeon, Dr. Roger Leir, shares his biggest cases and never before seen photos of his work. Starting research in the field of UFOs, alien abductions, and implants was a leap of consciousness for me, as my educational background was in academic science. I had no trouble conceiving the possibility of intelligent life, even more advanced than our own. It was simple for me to gaze at the stars on a clear night and realize that each star was an actual sun. This followed by the reasoning suns must have planets that revolve around them as we do in our own solar system. If this was so, then why is it not possible for those other worlds to be inhabited with life similar or even dissimilar to the life on our planet? What's more, I had to consider other forms of life could be much older if they had survived longer than were also possibly advanced in intelligence. Our written and recorded history provides us with a record of how long mankind has seen craft of unknown origins flying through our skies. Perhaps our ancient record was the key to probing the UFO phenomena. Over many centuries, a very careful campaign of organized deceit and enveloped our world, telling us those who saw things flying in our skies or who claimed contact with non-terrestrial beings were deceived, first by the gods of the ancient literature and modified through the centuries by clever and skilled deceivers of the truth, into a modern campaign which dismissed all sightings and individual experiences as illusions by nutcases who should be receiving psychiatric treatment. Over and over, the paid skeptics and debunkers asked, "Where is the smoking gun? Where is your physical evidence?" When their questions were answered by physical trace cases from landed craft, portions of metallic objects taken from crash sites, millions of civilian and eyewitness testimonies, close encounters of the third and fourth kinds, and other forms of scientific evidence, the debunking community paid little heed or simply responded with silly remarks whose concepts were biased and bordered on the ridiculous. The problem is even more complicated with the fact that most populations still pray to higher masters. They are obligated by society to feed their families and be responsible members of some sociological order. This included academic science itself. It is only a handful of academic scientists, some retired and some from military employment, who are brave enough to come forth and tell the truth. My hat is off to all of these individuals, who include astronauts such as Dr. Edgar Mitchell, Gordon Cooper, and others who have stepped up to the plate and made statements that were so profound it should have impacted the world. Dr. Leir continues to say, "I began my research numerous decades ago, but did not leap into the field with ultimate serious motives until about 20 years ago. To date, our research team, through our nonprofit 501c3 research organization, and it's called A&S Research, has performed 17 surgeries for the removal of objects from alleged alien abductees suspected of being alien implants. The implants have undergone rigorous examinations by both biological and metallurgical scientists associated with some of the world's most prestigious laboratories, such as Los Alamos National Labs, New Mexico Tech, University of Toronto, York University, Southwest Laboratories, Seal Laboratories, and numerous others with the same validation. Sorry. The discoveries have been both earth-shattering and prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that these objects are non-terrestrial in origin and have been placed in humans all over the world by advanced species for reasons we still do not understand. Now, here are some of the findings. Number one, no inflammatory or rejection reaction by the body to these foreign objects. Number two, no visible portal of entry. Number three, collections of specialized nerve endings surrounding the object. Number four, an outer coating of ceramic biological material. Number five, a metallic phase where inorganic metal becomes biological tissue. Number six, the emission of radio waves, which are deep space frequencies in the FM band. Number seven, electromagnetic fields in excess of 10 milligauss. Number eight, composition of meteoric iron. Number nine, rare earth metals such as U-236, a single isotope of uranium existing by itself, as well as elements such as iridium, which is very rare and hard to find in the Earth's crust. Number 10, non-terrestrial isotopic ratios indicating the involved elements did not come from this Earth. Number 11, the existence of carbon nanotubes, carbon nanostrands, and carbon nanofibers. These entities were considered non-existent in nature, and many scientists made definitive statements that could not be made in a laboratory. Statements that they could not be made in a laboratory. This has now been reversed as commercial products are being designed and made from this technology. Carbon nanostructures are now the strongest substance known to mankind. The oldest of these was in specimens taken from one of our surgical patients, which has been in their body for over 46 years, which was old enough to eliminate back engineering from UFO crash sites such as Roswell. Before I continue, we'll take a quick look at some of these images. Here's an image of an ultrasound being used for visualization of the implant. And this photo is courtesy of ANS Research. And a review of a CAT scan showing the object near the bone. And again, this photo is courtesy of ANS Research. The smoking gun continued. Number 12, gold spheres, which have yet unknown function. Number 13, metallic caverns that are no larger than the diameter of one atom. Number 14, resistance to ordinary cutting techniques such as metallic sawing or severing with a cutting instrument. One of our specimens had to be cut with a laser. Number 15, there are also a number of unknown structures seen with the electron microscope, which we do not understand. There is an abundance of sodium chloride orthorhombic orthorhombic crystals of varying sizes. This is the same material as common ordinary table salt, but the crystals of table salt have no regular shape. Crystals were used for many years in the electronic systems of radio to get multiple frequencies or radio stations. The original radio was referred to a crystal set, which required only the simplest of materials to construct. 18 separate and distinctive objects have been removed from individuals who allege alien abduction. Only one of these objects was of an earthly origin, which was a piece of crystal-like glass produced in low numbers by Dow Corning Glass Company. All the others showed multiple qualities of non-terrestrial origin. The last three cases, surgeries 15, 16, and 17, were by far the most interesting cases from a scientific point of view. This because the scientific equipment had advanced to the point where more could be learned about the non-terrestrial aspects. When I first started this research, the equipment was so primitive, we were not able to do the advanced studies we have now been doing routinely. Also, an important factor is what earthly science knows about our solar system and the universe. With the advent of the Hubble and other satellite telescopes operating in the ultraviolet and infrared light spectrum, our scientists now have advanced knowledge which can be applied to research on earthly grounds. Who would ever think that we would discover planets orbiting other suns in large numbers and in the so-called Goldilocks zone? Even a simple thing like water was once thought to be confined to our earthly environment alone. Now we know that the presence of water is probably universal. In a brief discussion of the three last cases, I shall enumerate the highlights. Starting with case number 15, involved a male patient who was married with several young children and a resident of Southern California. He had a long history of abductions, and they involved both his wife and his family. One morning he awoke with a pain in a toe and several small dots of blood on the bedsheet. This had occurred during the night, and he made an appointment the following day with me in my office as an ordinary foot patient. He withheld the fact that he was an abductee. He finally related to me the story about his last night's incident and confessed he had seen me on television. After examination, I became suspicious that he did have a foreign body in his toe and suggested an X-ray. At the time, there were no wounds or signs of blood. The X-rays proved positive for a metallic foreign body, and because of his pain, it was recommended that it be removed. On his follow-up visit, he told me about his many abduction experiences and why he chose me as his specialist. The patient was given a copy of our extensive questionnaire and was told to fill it out and return them to me. Following that, his surgery was scheduled, and the following is a partial list of unusual events associated with his surgery. Just going to go back to this image here. Here's an object being surgically removed. Photo courtesy of A&S Research. So the partial list of unusual events from this surgery. Number one, all of our surgeries are performed with the use of an X-ray device called a C-arm. This allows the surgeon to see the object on two television screens, and we can visualize the instruments we are using to remove it while they are inside the body. This was the first object that broke into several smaller pieces during the process of removal. Each piece was placed on surgical gauze and then transferred into the container filled with the patient's own blood serum. We had removed all the pieces except for one final piece. When we revisited the TV screens, we noticed the final segment that was left was gone. After an adequate time of searching for it, we simply gave up because it was not there and had simply vanished. Number 2, after 3 days went by, I re-examined the container holding the individual segments of the object and noticed they were all lined up in a straight line on the bottom of the container. I resealed the container and shook them up, placed the container on a table, and waited about 15 minutes. Re-examination was shocking, as they had again reassembled themselves in the order they were in the X-ray. I called our camera operator. He came and we filmed this several times. We have no explanation for this metallic behavior and can only conclude that the alloys were some kind of memory metal. I'm just going to go to the image here. Here's an object on a sterile surgical sponge. The darker portion is metal, and this photo is also supplied by A&S Research. Case number 16 was a gentleman who lived in Tennessee. He had an object in his thigh. His memory was that of an abduction experience when he was about 9 years of age. It involved 2 of his closest friends who were about the same age. They were on an overnight camping trip, which was only a few blocks from where he lived. The boys had a wagon, blankets for construction of a tent, the makings for a fire, and food like marshmallows to toast. The weather was perfect with a clear sky and unlimited visibility. They applied their skills to a makeshift tent construction and set their sleeping bags so their heads were outside of the tent, enabling them to see a clear view of the sky. They had a great deal of fun with the barbecue and the marshmallow toasting. The shroud of sleepiness finally set in, and they crawled into their sleeping bags and stared up at the wondrous sight of the majestic heavens. Suddenly, one of the boys shouted to the others, "What is that?" It was a very bright star, which seemed to be getting brighter and brighter and coming closer and closer. The boys were now fully awake. Suddenly, the star became a circular craft and hovered right above them. They had no fear whatsoever, as this was part of a great adventure. A multitude of colored lights circled the outside rim of the craft. The next thing that happened was a cone of bright bluish-white light, which shot down from the bottom of the craft, and they began to levitate upward. They showed no fear and were actually having fun, stating they now had the ability to fly. Ascending upward, they passed through an opening in the bottom of the craft and found themselves in a large circular room. Their hosts were described as the typical petite, black-eyed, gray beings with large wraparound eyes, small in stature with large heads, and communicated without the use of the mouth directly into the heads of the boys. Our surgical victim was told not to be afraid, and his only concern was that of his mates. He was told they would be separated for only a short while, but would soon be back together and no harm would come to them. Each one was then escorted down a different circular corridor. Under hypnosis, our surgical candidate described rooms on either side of this long corridor and stated they looked like hospital rooms. Under hypnosis, he remembered them putting something into his thigh, but there was no pain. After this, they were all 3 reunited in the same large room and beamed back to the campsite. They all noticed the sun was beginning to rise and that they had been gone most of the night. Then something very strange occurred. All 3 boys found a fresh vegetable garden and furiously tore the vegetables out of the ground and ate them. Case number 17 was a gentleman in his 40s who is a resident of Southern California. He has conscious memory of one experience when he was young with bluish-white light and gray beings in his bedroom. He has very few other memories and has not undergone any hypnotherapy or memory enhancement, but scored very high on our battery of questions pertaining to his possibility of being an alien abductee. He recently underwent a surgical procedure for removal of a metallic object from his calf area. It was typical in all forms: positive MGOS readings and radio wave emissions. It was a metallic rod of about 8 millimeters in length and about as big around as a pencil lead. This fits the general description of about 8 of the other objects. Removed. There was no scar or portal of entry. The object clearly showed on X-ray and CAT scan as well as on ultrasonogram. The surgery went well and the patient is recovering satisfactorily post-operatively. The only testing performed so far was under the optical microscope, which showed the object had a heavy exterior biological coating that cracked like the shell of a nut, exposing the metal inside. And SEM and EDX was performed, and it was noted that the coating showed biological material. However, there was a lack of biological factors indicative of human origin. The major portion of the metal was meteoric iron. There were also numerous heavy bundles of carbon nanotubes, nanofibers, and nanostrands. Further testing is forthcoming. This author and researcher would like to clearly state, with all the research results of true academic science, that we have the so-called smoking gun. This was evidence at the citizens' hearing in Washington, D.C. this past May. In my testimony before a respected congressional committee, I discussed in detail some of the factors expressed in this article. Additionally, I submitted a copy of the OSTP report given to President Obama by this organization in the White House last year when he was attempting to raise money for his health care legislation. The author's new book will soon be available to the public. Its title is UFOs Don't Exist: The Greatest Lie That Enveloped the World. The foreword for the book was written by astronaut Dr. Edgar Mitchell. Watch for it soon at your local bookstore, Amazon.com, or my website, alienscalpel.com. Dr. Lear is a podiatrist surgeon who has been in private practice in Ventura County, California for the past 43 years. Dr. Lear anticipates performing more surgeries in the future and is investigating the physiological and biological aspects of the alien abduction phenomena. Here's an image, the inside vacuum of the electron microscope prior to the insertion of the implant. Above right, and there's a picture of Dr. Lear, and above right, scientist mounts a portion of the implant for insertion into the electron microscope. To the right, the use of the Gauss meter to measure electromagnetic fields. And here we see object being examined with electron microscope showing the carbon nanobundles. And here's a view using the electron microscope with less magnification showing carbon nanofibers. All photos with this article are copyrighted by ANS Research. So that is it for this article. And I thought I would just check the chat and see if anybody has anything that I could share and we could talk about. I don't want to take too long because we actually do have another article that's a little longer, and that will get into not just the physical, but also the biological, etheric, auric, genetic implants, because there's quite a lot more to the bigger picture than the biological or metal objects that Dr. Lear removed. So I'm just going to, let's see, take a look at the chat. Allison says, I wish I had physical exams after my experiences, but doctors back then didn't understand this. Yeah, I totally agree. Um, Allison Yellowney also says, my cousin had an implant removed here in downtown Edmonton. Allison also says, they said things like, there's no point of entry. How did this get in there? I'm assuming she's talking about the medical, the doctors that examined her cousin. Allison Yellowney says, fatty tissue surrounded a metal object. It clanked when it hit the tray. Wow. She goes on to say that they asked to keep it, but they were told by the medical staff that they had discarded it. And Allison Yellowney also says, went to a healer who had different modalities and an intuitive healer. She picked up my life. She got very emotional and scared almost. And she told me where my implants were, which just validated what I already knew. Allison Yellowney goes on to say, my scalp, my heart, and my right ankle. She said the first two are no longer active, but the one in my ankle does. She says, I have a skin condition in that spot, and I can feel it sometimes because it pulses. Um, Don Rogers from March 4th Production says, funny thing, I've had so many accidents over my life. I've had most, if not all of my body x-rayed, and they showed me all of them except for the ones that were taken of my skull. Yeah, that's interesting. Allison says some dentists can do a full skull scan. I had a scan done and asked if they can go higher than my jawline. They said yes, but they don't scan that way. It kind of had me thinking. Um, Allison Yellowney also says the average person checking if they have implants that are magnetic using a stud finder around the skull and it goes off. Tried it and it did go off. And Allison also says, my friend used one on an implant and it was behind it. He has behind his ear and it went off. He wanted me to cut it out. I refused. I know he wants it removed. I let Daryl Sims know about this case. Okay, so that's all the comments for now. So I am going to go into my next part of my presentation here. Hang on a second. I need a drink of water. Got to wet my whistle. Okay, here we go. So as I mentioned, this is a presentation I did with Chris Matthew called Forbidden Transformation, Episode 6 on alien implants. And if you go to my YouTube channel and you put in a search for Forbidden Transformation, you'll actually find all the episodes. I think there's 20 episodes that I did with Chris Matthew. And there's a graphic. It's not an actual alien implant, but it does definitely impart the purposes and what they're capable of doing. And so this is about physical, etheric, and holographic um, alien implants. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about physical implants. So I already talked about the article called The Smoking Gun by Roger Leir. I already read that to you. That was Chris's part of the presentation. And number two is, according to Wikipedia, in ufology, alien implants is a term used to describe physical objects allegedly placed in someone's body after they have been abducted by aliens. Claimed capabilities of the implants range from telepresence to mind control to biotelemetry, which the latter akin to humans tagging wild animals for study. So that might be, so in layman's terms, Wikipedia is saying that the capabilities or what these implants allow is for telepresence. That would be for the aliens to be present within our human bodies or our minds, that it would allow them to control our minds and also to track us, similar to the way we would tag wild animals for study. As with UFO subjects in general, the idea of alien implants has seen very little attention from mainstream scientists. Well, there's an image of an implant that was found in someone's body also. So for those of you listening on audio, I highly recommend you come and watch the replay so that you can get the benefit of these images. So I guess there's a book called The Aliens and the Scalpel: Scientific Proof of Extraterrestrial Implants in Humans. And this was written by Roger Leir. Is a story of not only scientific research, but explains how the author, who started as the consummate scientific skeptic, became thoroughly convinced that humans all over this planet are being tampered with by another intelligence. He also believes that our historical record proves this has gone on for thousands of years. So, like I mentioned, this PDF is available on my website under the Shop tab under PDFs. And then under the Fringe view, if you click on that, you can find this PDF and you can download it. And the reason you may want to download it is so that you have a copy of the information, but also everywhere where it shows the title in blue, that's a link to where you can find the article or access the book in case you want to buy it and continue your own research. Number 4, Casebook, Alien Implants. This is another book written by Roger Leir and Whitley Strieber. Shocking evidence that alien implants are real, as told by the doctor who removed them. Alien implants. The objects are real, the facts are indisputable. But where did they come from? Gathered here in shocking detail is hard evidence the medical community has long denied. Tangible proof that alien implants are real. They cannot be explained by science. They did not come from Earth, and each possesses the unmistakable characteristics of alien origin. Dr. Roger Leir documents 8 amazing stories of unknown objects being removed from persons reporting alien abduction. The result the results are some of the most astonishing finds of any UFO research to date. And here are some of the images um, of objects that have been removed from people. Personally, I think some of them appear to be man-made, but some of them appear to be quite foreign. But do come over to the replay, those of you on audio, and have a look. It's very, very interesting. And this was around the time they were coming out with implants for our pets and for humans, and self-assembling nanotechnology that has only researched since 2020. I won't say more about that, as I do not want my video taken down off YouTube. And number 5, alien nanotechnology. This is from an article, March 8th, 2018, by Julia Strand. And there's an image of the nanotechnology on the screen here. Alien nanotechnology, which is believed to be pieces of evidence embedded into abducted humans by extraterrestrials. There is a documentary called Patient 17, which shows Dr. Roger Lear's 17th surgery removal of extraterrestrial implants. This information has been found and studied through the pieces found in these abductees. During the documentary of Patient 17, Dr. Roger Lear came to find that the extraterrestrial implant that was inside of his patient was made of a total of 36 elements. Dr. Roger Lear also shared in his documentary how the isotopic ratios of zinc 64 and zinc 66 would indicate that these elements could not have been made possible from elements found here on Earth. And then we're moving into another kind of implant, chemtrails and Morgellons. It's worse than you thought. You want to know why our birds, bees, frogs, and now bats are dying? It's undeniable that we and all life forms are under deliberate chemical and biological nano attack. DOE and DOD are most likely involved. And for those of you who don't know, these are human organizations. The chemicals removed by me found in our air and blood, water and urine is providing an enriched environment for the accelerated growth of these synthetic model organisms. This chemical is increasing body and environmental electrical capacities, providing the DC current for these synthetic organisms to self-assemble, as the body is electrical first and chemical second. Every living thing on the planet is currently being colonized by these artificial life forms. To what end is not known. The metal particulates which separated in my blood are photographically identical to the metal found in all air samples. This can only mean our cerebral fluids contain these particulates. Ever put metal in a microwave? What do you think happens when you stick a 0.5-watt microwave cell phone near to your 70% water, 30% cholesterol brain with about 2 to 4% of some type of exotic metal flowing through it? Microsparks would be a good guess. The article stated a 200-meter, approximately 600-foot range around the base transmitters to be the most detrimental to any life form. And so this article is all about how this is going on in our modern world, and we are becoming filled with these nanoparticles, these metallic bits are being planted everywhere in our bodies, including our brains. And then we're using cell phones and 5G and Wi-Fi, and that is why it's causing all kinds of destructive health consequences. So I recommend that you take a look at that article as well. So number 7, now I'm going to get into more information according to the Ascension Glossary. Alien implants work in the human body similarly as the chemical process of geoengineering that is spraying chemtrails in the skies to manipulate or control forces in physical matter. The construction and raw substances used in alien implants are vast and some unknown. They can be made of biological material, synthetic material, etheric substances in the light body, or programmed nanobots or nanites used in artificial intelligence technologies. Alien implants are a bioengineering technology designed to shape the human body into the mind control submission. Here's an image of Morgellons under a microscope. So the mind control submission. And I'm not going to discuss that because, again, I want my video to stay up on YouTube. Number 8, alien implant profiles. Implants are used to instruct the human nervous system to release life force or chi energies and body parts to be given to this network for siphoning off and control over the population. Implants are used to override or run programming in your personal biocomputer, which is your physical body. Implants impact your health, your mental state, your emotional state, your ability to access consciousness, and your sense of self. Genetic history plays a part in the type of implant or level of psychic and energetic harassment one receives from these networks. So those of you who are familiar with targeted individuals, this is a big chunk of that, okay? And again, I encourage you all to do your own research. And please note that I am in no way giving medical instruction or medical advice. This is just information for information's sake. Do with it what you want, but please do your own research and take your health concerns to a qualified medical professional. Thank you. So identified implants, there's a lot. Just going to scroll down a bit. There are Archon genetic engineered entities or suppressor parasites, which are referred to as SPEs. Variation of small black shapes, some with attached wiring. Chest heart harness. Sorry, I have trouble with this word. Dodecahedron mind control harness. Fleur-de-lis artifacts. Distorted DNA seed artifacts. Distorted ARC codes. Vesica Pisces implant. Solar cross. Breeder implants. Predator implants. Sexual energy genetic crasher. Reversal polarity, gender splitting, genetic experiments, genital mutilation in the etheric body, etheric semen from astral and etheric rapes in both men and women, genital plugs, etheric penis plug or lingam in the rectum or vagina, burn mark brands like branding a cattle, clamps or metal structures blocking organic energies from opening in the energy body and moving up the vertical channel, and etheric weaponry. So we all know what etheric is, or the astral realm. Well, these are devices like knives and cleavers and all kinds of things that we have attached to us on our etheric level. So most of what I've just identified, we wouldn't even know what's wrong, what's going on, or what's happened. And when we go to the doctors, they run all the tests and they can't find anything wrong. Meanwhile, we are suffering as a species, the whole human species. Now I want to get into alien implants that are etheric. Number one, here are some examples of the characteristics that define negative etheric implants. It's a negative implant is any implant that is put into someone's energy field that gives others an advantage or the recipient a disadvantage. Manages the person's thinking, choices, decisions, or behaviors. Manages that person's feelings, emotions, or mood. Manages that person's intuition or insights. Keeps that person aligned to a set of ideas, beliefs, or truths or ideals. Makes that person against others' ideas, beliefs, truths, or ideals. Forces an alignment to support a group or anyone's agenda or goals. Forces an alignment to support a group or anyone's, oops, sorry, I already read that, agenda or goals. Prevents that person from fully and openly using all of their abilities and capacities. Now, without me getting into specifics, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed the division in the world. Team A is against Team B is against Team A. People are having all kinds of problems accessing their intuition, their insights. There's been medical procedures that could quite well fit this description. People are having a great deal of trouble managing their feelings, their emotions, or their mood. And people's thinking is becoming increasingly polarized. Number two, etheric emotional mental implants. And here's an image, which is an artist's rendition so that you can get the idea. These are implants that are embedded in our interfacing suit. They can influence us as much as the real physical body implants. However, there are some factors regarding these implant types that you should be aware of. And so we may not be able to see them or be aware of them, but they're definitely having an effect on all of us. These implants are huge in size compared to the physical body implants. And these are because the physical body implants are often very small. It's quite difficult to hide these interfacing suit implants because they are so huge or so big. Our subtle energy body is not only large, it is also made up of at least 4 different sub-subtle bodies, none of which we are able to directly detect. The so-called etheric body and mental body, etc., as described above, are part of the interfacing to the physical. So, as some of you know, we have a sphere of energy around us, but we actually have layers like the skin of an onion, layers and layers and layers that take us from the physical to the non-physical. And that's what allows us to have trans-dimensional or interdimensional travel. So these implants are harnessing those energy systems, those energy bodies. Some call it the oversoul, some call it the mental body. And they are disrupting our ability to connect with our higher self, to connect with source, and to have the kinds of trans-dimensional experiences that are our birthright. This article goes on to say the 4 energetic subbodies have multidimensional characteristics, and an energetic implant can seriously impact you. Whoever controls the mind controls the body, mind, and soul. Alien implants are used to mind control the masses to form socially acceptable belief systems and shape anti-human value systems, which are used to condition humanity to accept spiritual abuse from the negative aliens and to self-enforce their thought systems of hierarchical enslavement and fear. This is a divide and conquer strategy of the planet and humanity. So you can see just through alternative history or even mainstream history how for thousands of years, perhaps hundreds of thousands of years, there has been a separation between the ruling class and the common people, always to the detriment of the common people and the advantage to the so-called elites. Now you can see how um, they might well be the ruling class, might well be hybrid alien humans, or they might just be working in conjunction with these advanced races of beings that allow the enslavement of humanity. So you can probably spend some time thinking about this and come up with lots and lots of examples on your own where you can see this being played out in history and even today. The article goes on to say, since most of humanity has been unable to activate the higher heart complex and connect the fourth DNA strand during adolescence and into adulthood, over the length of time, the chemicals from the implants distort patterns in the DNA that accumulate miasmatic overlays on core emotional issues and physical imbalances. This is not natural. If a human being cannot activate their heart and access their fourth strand of DNA, they are unable to activate their soul identity. Thus, they are unaware of why they incarnated on the earth, what their higher purpose is, and cannot connect to or listen to their higher self because they have not activated their higher sensory perception abilities. Number 3, according to the Ascension Glossary, when the foreign, which is an unnatural or artificial material, is introduced to the natural body, it disrupts the electromagnetic energetic balance and the homeostasis rhythm of the body. Many times it runs a low-level EMF or radio wave signal that is designed to disrupt the human body's natural homeostasis, or should say homeostasis, and electromagnetic balance. This puts the body in hyperimmunity state and or adrenal exhaustion while fighting off the invader. The body develops coping mechanisms to deal with the foreign invader while extreme stress is placed on the central nervous system, brain, and immune system. Here we have an image so you can get an idea of what some of these implants look like up close. So where was I? The body develops coping mechanisms to deal with the foreign invader while extreme stress is placed on the central nervous system, brain, and immune system. As with chemtrails, alien implants most generally act as a metallic frequency overload and exposure to impact the overall bodily energies and its auric fields. So we can see here how it affects both the physical body and the auric body, because we basically are all one, even though we've sliced and diced, the auric or the mental body from the physical. We're actually all one. Eventually, this disrupts the body organism, and as a result, parasites, fungi, yeast, and other microorganisms become overgrown and imbalance the body. It is important to understand that energetic parasites, this is just one byproduct of alien implants, eventually manifest, turning into a variety of physical parasites in the human body. Physical parasites impact all bodily functions, mental body functions, and thought forms, induce emotionally hysterical states, as well as promote disconnection from the inner self and spiritual energies. Mind control via EMF. Mind control technologies are weapons which use electronic microchip implants, nanotechnologies, microwaves, and/or electromagnetic waves to subvert an individual's sense of control over their own thinking, behavior, emotions, or decision-making by attacking the brain and the nervous system. The development of these methods and technologies has a long history. Now I want to talk a bit more about holographic inserts. The dead light matrices also reflect the artificially bent light holographic inserts, which contain the controlled versions of the nature of this reality, such as crucifixion implants. And these are also shattering and exploding systematically into the outer fields of the planet. These are false realities, artificial holographic inserts that we have thought were real and then developed mental beliefs that held that specific version of reality and its timelines kept in place. So before I just complete reading this page, I just want to say that is how timelines get hijacked from these implants, these fake holographic inserts. We think they're real, and then we change our beliefs, and that takes us down the timeline. Where was I? And then developed mental beliefs that held that specific version of reality and its timelines kept in place. As these false realities are shattered into pieces for those maintaining energetic balance in this explosive terrain, we can read the signature of those dead light pieces that reflect the nature of its disease and its schism. Holographic inserts work like a software program. And those of you who have followed my recent panel, three-part panel on simulation theory, and those of you who are familiar with simulation theory, you will know exactly how this is working. Holographic inserts work like a software program in our reality. So just as a summary, what is an alien implant? Alien implants can be etheric, energetic, holographic, genetic, biologic, and synthetic. Alien implants can include AI, nanotechnology, bioengineering, and crystalline formations. They are produced by interdimensional beings, ETs, and some humans. Some are beneficial, but most are not, as they infringe on our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. I would add to that also the health of the timeline. Alien implants and the human body. The purpose of implanting humans may be for experimentation, mind control, geoengineering and transhumanism, biotelemetry or tracking, and more. When alien implants are introduced to the body, they disrupt the electromagnetic balance and the homeostasis of the body. They often produce low-level electromagnetic frequencies, or EMF, that interfere with our natural, energetic, and biological cycles. People with alien implants experience health issues as their bodies develop mechanisms to cope. I gotta sneeze. Alien implants impact our energetic and auric fields, the body, and the mind, disconnecting us from our inner self and higher spiritual energies. Most people are unaware of their presence, but find that they do not thrive in spite of their best efforts. People with implants tend to have recurring headaches, digestive issues, cycles of anxiety and depression, poor sleep patterns, lack of energy and adrenal fatigue, along with low immunity to disease with increased autoimmune responses. So now I just want to take a minute to tell you about a product that I have called the Alien Implant Remedy. Now, this is only one of many different remedies and solutions to implants. So I don't want you to think you have to all go and buy my product. It's there for those of you who think you could benefit from it. And if you find other websites and groups that offer techniques and things to help remedy this, go for it. And I just recommend that you all do your own research and look into and also follow your heart and your intuition. So when I was aboard the big ship in 2022, I went back in 2022. I was there etherically for the exopolitical work that I do. If you want to learn more about my experiences on the big ship, I recently did an interview with Don Rogers at March 4th Productions, and we covered quite a bit of my experience. So go ahead over to Don's channel and watch that if you want to know more about my experiences. But anyway, so I was back there and they highly recommended that I introduce an alien implant remedy because basically people on Earth are not doing very well. And we need to do something about the implants if we want to thrive, if we want to change the timeline, if we want to evolve to the point where we can have more ET, positive ET contact. And so they suggested, they're the ones who got me going with orgone generators in the first place. I didn't even know what they were. Uh, and this is a combination of orgone producers and also essential oils, because essentially we want to meet the problem on a frequency level. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my product, and it's up to you whether or not. I still have a few left if you're interested, and if not, that's fine too. And so it's the Alien Implant Remedy, or the AIR for short. As the implants are removed from the energetic body, it has the chance to heal the energetic body, and the physical body recovers as a result. Implants can be etheric, energetic, holographic, genetic, biologic, and synthetic, and they can include AI, nanotechnology, bioengineering, and crystalline formations. Therefore, it makes sense to use a non-physical, energetic approach to removal by applying frequency-producing technologies like high-grade essential oils, crystals, orgone energy, and visualization. Alien implants impact all of the body's energetic and auric fields, the physical body and the mind, disconnecting us from our inner self and our higher spiritual energies. The guided meditation will assist you to discover the power of your own mind and unleash your own curing powers. What is the alien implant remedy? Since alien implants are essentially energetic in nature, the remedy must also involve frequency. We offer cutting-edge technology to remedy alien implants and other invasive energetic frequency-related technologies. This alien implant remedy is a proprietary blend of essential oils, crystal frequencies, orgone energy, and guided meditation, designed to work together to move energy and clear the energetic pathways. This alien implant remedy provides the right combination of energetic frequencies, specifically designed to disable and dissolve energetic implants that may be holding you back. More about how the alien implant remedy kits work. By placing the AIR pyramid near the bed, the ambient energies of the room are transmuted into purifying energy and flood your sleep area with orgone energy. Use the AIR foot oil before going to bed. This formulation supports the base and the sacral chakras while grounding the body to natural earth frequencies. And when you use the AIR body spray first thing in the morning and before this guided meditation, you support both the third eye and crown chakras while connecting you to your higher self, the quantum field, and the heavenly realms. I just want to say, too, the pyramid and the disc both have very high quality clear quartz and hematite in them to absorb and purify the negative energies. Let's see, body spray. The above combination boosts the healing potential of the torus field generated by your heart. This supercharges the immune and other body systems. Then place the AIR body disc onto your heart chakra while you do the guided meditation. You can also keep it in your pocket. You can keep it in your bra, anywhere on your body. You're getting the benefits of high quality hematite and clear quartz crystals to constantly be absorbing and refreshing and regenerating your body's energies. As the implants are removed, the energetic body has the chance to recover. Heal the energetic body, and the physical body recovers as a result. Since the implants are essentially energetic in nature, the remedy must also involve frequency. This alien implant remedy kit is a proprietary blend of essential oils, crystal frequencies, orgone energy, and guided meditation designed to work together to move energy and dissolve alien implants. And you can check out the remedial energy kits. I have two different kinds. I have the alien implant remedy, and I also have the evil be gone kits that are for people who are having trouble with negative entity attachments. Although, interestingly, I would purchase whichever resonates best with you because both serve the purpose for each other. And you can find these at my website, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com/shop. And that's KarenHolton, healthcoach.com/shop. And I just want to say this again so that my video remains on YouTube. Please note, this alien implant remedy is intended for adults, and the essential oil component should not be given to pets or children. This video and the AIR brochure and instructions are presented as is for educational purposes only. They are not intended as a substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or advice of a qualified licensed medical professional. The information should not be taken as medical advice, and in no way should anyone infer that we are practicing medicine. Seek the advice of a medical professional for proper application of this material to any specific situation. No statement here or on my website has been evaluated by the United States Food and Drug Administration, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the Department of Health Canada, or any other regulatory authority. Any product or service mentioned or described in this material or on the website is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We are recommending that you do your own independent research before purchasing anything. And then the link for this PDF will be in the description below. And as I mentioned before, it has all the embedded links to all the source material, and it's available from my website, again, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com/shop/PDF downloads/the fringe view. And it comes with as I described the disc, the pyramid, the body spray, and the foot oil. So that, as they say, is that. So I'm just going to take a look through the chat now and answer or just highlight some of your comments here. Let's see, where are we? Okay, well, we've been joined by Stanton Mick. Hello, everyone. Hello, Stanton. So glad you could join us today. If you missed any part of this presentation, please do watch the replay because it's got a wealth of information in it. Allison Yellowney says, interesting. I never delved into this topic. Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that you don't hear about it? That's all I got to say. Isn't that interesting that you never hear about it and very few people are talking about this? And we've got Woo Riders DG. Hi, Woo Riders DG. Welcome to the show. So good to see you. Let's see. Allison Yellowney says, interesting. I used to astral travel. I haven't practiced this much in the last 10 years. And Don Rogers at March 4th Production says, mine is activating, referring to his astral travel, more and more over the last year, even gained some control. Don, I have to ask you, does that have anything to do with me sending you the alien implant remedy kit for you to try out? Maybe, maybe not. Allison Yellowney says, absolutely the health issues. Yeah. Yeah. How many people going to the doctor, having every test, can't find anything wrong, and yet they are truly, truly suffering. Let's see. Don Rogers says, thank you, Karen. Well, you're welcome, Don. Allison Yellowney says, thank you for this information, Karen. I wish I would have met you years ago. Actually, I did contact you, Allison, a couple of years ago and tried to connect, but it just didn't work out. Here's Don. He's got in the chat how to find my shop. And Don Rogers at March 4th Production says, yes, and I was just showing William as you were explaining it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's amazing, but you need to read the information that comes with it. There's a brochure and an instruction sheet, and then you need to click on or go to my website and or my YouTube channel to find the playlist, to find those guided meditations. And what the guided meditations actually do is they help you to identify things. Could be physical things, could be astral things, could be any of the things we've talked about on the program today, and how to identify them and recognize that they're not a part of you. And then you give yourself the command to let them go, to dissolve them. We have amazing curative powers, amazing. I mean, we have such amazing powers. So, I mean, if this whole aspect of the implants is true, imagine what we can do when we're free from them. Just imagine. Let's see. Stanton Mick says, question, have you ever used a black light to look for anomalous markings? Yes, I have. And I had a friend, and this is back in the 70s, and we were actually just laying on a bed, vegging out together, probably smoking weed, and he had a black light and he put it on, and I saw all kinds of stuff. As though his outer skin became kind of transparent. He had all kinds of stuff on his body that should not have been there. And it was actually quite quite freaky, I have to say. Let's see. We also have been joined by Rhea F. Hi, Rhea. Great information. Thank you so much for sharing. Questions. Number one, do we really all have such implants, both positive and negative? It's my opinion that we do. Number two, how can we protect our little kids from negative ones? Well, you could start by getting an alien implant removal kit. You can either get one from me, they are available, do some research, Google it, see if you could still find them. I'm not going to recommend any one over another, but you know that when you're using orgone generators and crystals and essential oils that are diluted as they are in my products, they're probably quite safe for kids. But I wouldn't plaster them in essential oils. I would use them extremely sparingly. And again, you may want to check with your physician before doing so, or your naturopath. But the orgone generators and teaching your kids to meditate, and they can even follow the meditation that I have online, and they can learn how to clear their own systems. You can teach them that from the time they're like 3 years old. Woo Riders DG says, God bless to all of you. Now, I just want to take a minute, guys, to do what I usually do during my show, and that is play a very brief promotion. And the reason I do this is so that you can see ways that you can help support my work, because I don't get paid by YouTube. In fact, I'm always in trouble with YouTube. They have deemed my contact as harmful. And, everything is, all the expenses for doing these shows is coming out of my pocket. So we'll just this is less than 2 minutes. We'll just quickly play this and then we'll come back, take any final comments before we close the show.
Right now is the perfect time to heal your mind, body, and spirit. But for some, it may be more difficult, as there are those that have experienced unexplained phenomena such as alien abduction and implantation. Many that have experienced this don't have anyone or anything they can turn to for help. Mainstream medical practices will not acknowledge the presence or treatment of these implants. They can be synthetic, holographic, energetic, or etheric. They can block your energy pathways in order to alter your feelings, behaviors, preferences, and limit your potential. Karen Holton has created the Quantum Health Transformation Program and the Alien Implant Remedy. The Alien Implant Remedy is a proprietary blend of essential oils, crystal frequencies, orgone energy, and guided meditation designed to work together to move energy and dissolve the implants. Due to current conditions, supply is limited, so check them out today. These kits provide the right combination of energetic frequencies specifically designed to disable and dissolve energetic implants that may be holding you back. Karen Holton also offers energy and wellness coaching, ascension workshops, Zendome's orgone generators, and spiritual support. Visit KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com or click the link in the description to find out more and get your alien implant remedy today.
Hi, I'm back. So I want to thank everybody for joining me for the show today. Please do share it with your friends and come back next week for another interesting show. I'm just going to quickly have a little look here. Canadian Spinja says, I used aromatherapy and crystals when my son was little. I had no idea what I was doing, but I feel it still helped. Intention is huge too, from what I understand. And Stanton Mick says, Canadian Spinja, you're right. And isn't it amazing what our intuition does to help us? Oh, I agree 100%. Don Rogers at March 4th Productions says, loving this ad. Well, I'm glad. I try to keep them as entertaining and interesting as possible. And Allison Yellowknee just sends love. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining me for the show today. I've really appreciated your comments and your rapt attention. And do come back and watch the replay and share it out. Those of you who are listening on audio, please do come and watch the replay so you can take advantage of all the amazing visuals. And if any of you have any suggestions on topics you'd like me to cover in the future, I'm happy to do it, or guests that you would like me to have on the show, I'm happy to do it, because this is a community building show. So the other show that I have on Wednesdays is the Quantum Guide Show, where I interview people who have something positive to offer the world. There isn't a lot of communication with the chat on that show. But on Sundays is your turn. Put your 2 cents worth in, join the community, feel like you're part of something interesting, and we fearlessly go where few have gone before us. So that's it for the show today. And again, I appreciate you all very much for being here. And sorry, I'm getting tired now. I'm trying to look for my outro. And here's my outro. So say bye-bye. I'll see you next week or on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me for the Aliens and Angels podcast. Become the change that you wish to see in the world. Subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels at Karen Holton TV. Click the like button, leave me a comment, and share this podcast with your friends. Check out my website at www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All of the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you will also find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.